Hello everyone, it's Jerry here, and today we are going to be covering some of my favorite songs and albums from the past year. The last year for me, in terms of music, wasn't necessarily eventful. This isn't to say it was a bad year, but more so that I just didn't really listen to much this year as I did last year. Last year I listened to way too much, and I believe caused a burnout, which also caused me to not want to listen to anything for pretty much an entire year. It wasn't until about maybe 3 weeks ago or so that I was like, you know what, I want to listen to some music, I want to get this video done, let's start working on it. And so I went I went pretty deep in. I listened to a good amount of albums that I managed to get a good list out of, and I gotta say that I'm pretty happy with what I listened to. Obviously there was a lot I missed out on because 3 weeks is just not enough time to listen to basically the entire year's worth of music, and I also have things to do, so I can't sit here all day listening to music because that will also cause burnout. But that's okay because what we ended up getting was still very, very good. But before we even get to the list, I want to shout out a couple of albums that I didn't get to listen to that I will listen to after this video is done, or at least out. I should have listened to them by that point. So first off, I want to give a shout out to Talk Memory by Bad Bad Not Good, one of my favorite jazz bands. I'll get to your album eventually. Aphelion by Leprous. Leprous is one of my favorite modern rock metal bands, who recently have been doing more art rock rather than their traditional metal music, but they're still fairly good. Red, Taylor Swift version. I'm gonna be real, I'm not the craziest fan of Taylor Swift's music, but that isn't to say she does bad music, because she does make legitimately good songs. And what I've heard so far, people telling me about this album is that it's an album of the year contender, but unfortunately it is very, very long. It's so long, so I didn't get around to listening to that. And again, Into the Light by Panopticon. I don't know anything about this album. All I know is that my friends really enjoyed it, and I want to give that a listen. Rare Forever by Leon Vinehall. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes to make sure I say these names correctly. Another album I don't know much about, but my friends seem to really enjoy it, so I'll give that a listen eventually. And Un Canto por México Volumen 2 by Natalia Lafourcade. Which is, I loved Volumen 1, and I want to give Volumen 2 a listen, but I also didn't listen to it because it was very long. It was on my list of albums to listen to, but I ultimately decided not to listen to it because I just thought it was way too long. Those are the albums I didn't get to listen to that would have probably made the list or would have been considered in the list. Life is just filled with a lot of busy work that prevent me from doing that. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to very quickly review each album of my top 25 in 10 words or less. And we're gonna see how that goes, because all of this is improvised.
With my elephant gun of tears, I'll shoot you all for free.
Boy howdy. Do I really love Nick Cave. Still. Cool. Loud, terrifying, intriguing, ear hurting, but man, this goes hard. Raka 2 was really fun, but Raka 1 still better.
Bravo mio lei, baton com ma woman. There's a late police all day, baton com ma woman. There's a late police all day,
Despite speaking in French, this is a very fun Listen.
You play the villain in the age-old tale I've been.
The audio for this section was corrupted because of course it was, but don't worry, I'm not gonna repeat myself again, but I'd much rather just leave it up to interpretation, and I'll let you decide what I was saying here. It's good to have Sweet Trip back, and they rule.
How I think of your life, I think about where you've been. Are you really a man, or a shadow in a leather skin?
Trophy Scars really is one of the most unique rock bands.
Easy way out, drowning eternally when you're stuck in the ocean of doubt with all this uncertainty. Live being angry my whole life like it's part of my DNA. I couldn't tell you why it became something that we embraced.
UK rap scene really popping off. Just a bit too long. The first 4 songs really do carry this album hard. This is the music that plays when you go die. My favorite jazz album of the year. Man, Jazz Fusion. The fact that this was improvised just blows me away. Really though, this album's also just a bit too long. I didn't say a single positive thing about that. Let me try that again. Too long, but really does take you to the stars. Yes.
I can't keep it together. Nothing is meant to last that long, but it doesn't make me feel better to put it in a stupid song.
What else can I say about black dresses besides?
I remember what it feels like when it's open. Wanna wake it up.
One of the loveliest albums I've listened to for real. Pharrell Sanders has been killing it for nearly 60 years. Post-punk is really saturated, But man, is this fun. Deaf Heaven went from screamo to shoegaze and somehow still rule.
Cream Zenith, lead with my left, beam freedom, world passport, blood bleeding, sick and shut in, signs and wonders. You don't have to be here if you don't wanna.
Billy Woods is one of the most intriguing storytellers now.
So count it for me. And if you ever leave, I might be lonely. But if you ever leave, I won't be begging. Count it all again, don't be offended. Count it for me, count it for me, count it for me.
Really fun, intriguing, catchy, really fun, bouncy, catchy dance music that very fun, bouncy, catchy dance music that will very fun, catchy, bouncy dance music. Very fun, very catchy, bouncy dance music that will make you I can't think of a last word. Very bouncy, catchy dance music that will make you bully. I don't know.
Could this be true? I don't need you. I don't need you. Oh, wait. Could this be true? I don't like you. I don't like you.
Genesis Owusu. Yeah, let's just move on. Converge and Chelsea Wolfe together in one album. I'm sold.
Bold shall I stand on that great day
I want to address myself
in bright
as I know
celestial robes of
Getting serious now for 1 second because this is honestly a very difficult listen. If you know the context, I don't think I'll talk about the context here, but I will link it in the description if you want to know about it. Because this is a very silly video, obviously, but if you know the context to this album, it is a very difficult, depressing listen, and I do recommend at least knowing the context before going into this album because it is genuinely very gut-wrenching and hard. But despite that, I still think it's an excellent album, worth listening.
I feel tired, and I think I'm done with trying. If everything was styrofoam, love would cost a dime.
Whatever you expected from this album, you are so wrong. I could go into detail about this album too because Little Ugly Mane, name aside, surprising me most of the times because he's just a very creative musician.
As the dust settles, shake it off of me. Shake it off of me.
This is another album I can't really make the 10 words thing about because it's another very difficult listen to. And for this one, I can at least talk about the context. Groggs, one of the members of Injury Reserve, passed away in a very just unexpected way. It just happened so suddenly last year, or at least in 2020, I believe, is when he passed away, and it was so out of the blue. I was at least like, what's gonna happen now? In the following year, they drop this album, and it is a gorgeous album where it just feels so lost and confused and alone and desperate, but somehow still remains kind of hopeful in a way for the future. It's a very beautiful album, and it's definitely my album of the year. I hate ending it on such a serious note, because it is genuinely a depressing listen. So, to make up for that, I'm just gonna run a quick montage of my 25 favorite songs of the year. I know this video is a little bit of a mess, as I very much so was not prepared for this once again, but these are just the style of my videos, how they're gonna be moving forward, where I'm just not gonna script anything and I'm just gonna speak my mind. I'm gonna speak my mind whenever and wherever I want, buddy. But nonetheless, here's the list.
God do you're no guilty. Pastor told me it is working. God, I give my life for life. He keeps showing me he's hurting.
I did many miles. Can't tell you what I found. What I
Double C on my feet, double G on my freak, Louis V by my brief. She want kick it with me, she better eat it and leave. She try to save her the place, but keep eating my meat. We can't see none of them grow, she keep eating my seat.
Yeah, good flow, make you wanna dance all day like Alfonso. Wanna talk about peas, wanna talk about wage, but can you do the job though?
잠들지 못했네 숨결에 떨림 두근대는 나의 스타일 Insomnia where we
My mama said I got death on me. Probably the reason why I haven't been the best on me. My youngest who up under me sit in jail on leave. Probably why a nigga been a little frail, low key.
All I want is to fall apart in the arms of someone entirely strange to me. The red sky fading in the distance. The peace sign burning like a vision from God. Fantasize you left me behind, and I'm turned back running for you. You say it's not, she made. You say it's all hysteria.
This is a scene on Main Street when John 50 comes to town. Yes, this is a scene on Main Street when John 50 comes to town.
I want to be your number one. You hold me to the sky. Shit, I can't even grow no more. Well, at least not vertically. But all these bottles that a nigga been killing.
Wow, that was an amazing collection of songs. I sure do wonder, where does he get his musical taste from and his musical genius from? I really, really, really do. Again, sorry for this video being sort of impromptu, because I kept changing ideas of how I wanted to handle this video, or if I wanted to make it 2 separate videos, but I also didn't want to make 2 music related videos in a row, rather just have one collective one. But it really was a bit all over the place, let's be real, but that's fine. It's also probably gonna be a little bit in the shorter end, because I can see the timer of how long I've been recording and how much I'm gonna be cutting off of the video. But yeah, I hope you have a lot of fun listening to the songs in full, because all the songs in here I personally very much so love, especially more of the later halves. There's also songs that they didn't include that unfortunately aren't even in my playlist either. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I know, again, it's a bit of a mess, but we have another video planned for next month. This is gonna be monthly. I'm sorry. I didn't want to make these bi-weekly, but that proved to be too much of a challenge for me to find the time to do all of this. But that's okay. That's okay, because at least we got this done. I have fun making this. I had fun working on it. Because I got to listen to music again, and I have to work now. So once again, thank you guys so much. I do have my Twitter in the description. I also have my Twitch channel, because I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and occasionally any other day, depending if my schedule allows it or if there's a special event. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. I really, once again, hope you do take the time to listen to the stuff I have here, and I would appreciate talking about it. I also have a Discord server if you want to talk about music with me or other stuff. It's also down in the description. Thank you guys so much.